Saint, welcome to House of Israel, Nigeria. At House of Israel, we share 5 unique visions. Our vision is to be a worshiping people. Our vision is to be an evangelistic community. Our vision is to be a discipleship center. Our vision is to be an equipping network. Our vision is to be a worldwide witness of Yeshua the Messiah. This 5 core vision guides and directs our actions and programs at House of Israel, Nigeria. We believe we have been called to catalyze a spiritual awakening in the nations. And through our teachings and programs and publications, we've been able to transform and shape the lives of countless around the world. We want you to continue to pray with us and partner with us in this vision of being a discipleship center of global awakening. We believe we've been called to establish a training facility where people all across Africa and the world can be deeply taught the word of Jehovah, taught his commandment, and taught his law, and by so doing, we experience transformation globally. This is our role and this is our job. We believe this to be a lifelong commitment, and we welcome you to be a part with us and to get involved with House of Israel, Nigeria, in making this a reality. To learn more about us, quickly go on our website, www.hoinigeria.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Shalom. Shalom Saints, I'm full of joy to show you progress so far at the Kingdom Legacy Project. We have completed the decking of the Convocation Center and also the staircase to the up floor of the Convocation Center has been completed. We have also completed the roofing of the International Office and Studio, including the windows, the electrical works, and the tiling, the flooring, and we are moving to the next stage, which is the stage of painting and installations of the doors. Thank you so much. We could not have come this far without your generosity and the help of Jehovah. Jehovah has indeed been so kind to us. And I want to appreciate you, Saint, and I also want to encourage you to support us to complete the work Jehovah has completed. Please go on our website, hoinigeria.com, and click on the donation button to send that generous donation to help us complete the project so far. So far, we'll be needing approximately 30,000 US dollars to complete the roofing, the fittings, to complete the international guest house. Please, saints, this is when we need you the most. Please help us accomplish this grand dream in the heart of Jehovah. The Kingdom Legacy Project is indeed a global community for discipleship, for training, and for the blessing of the Kingdom of Jehovah and for humanity. This is a moment we have to shine the light of Jehovah in a dark world. Thank you. Shalom, Saints. Welcome to this special broadcast. I want to appreciate each and every one of us for your patience and for your kindness to be a part of today's broadcast. I'm so excited to have you with me today on this special Kingdom Legacy Project report, and it's going to be a very brief meeting with you, partners, supporters, and friends of the House of Israel, Nigeria Ministry, and the Kingdom Legacy Project partners. It's been such a journey to see transformation in a dying world, a journey to be a vessel that Jehovah can use to bring about transformation and change in the lives of men. House of Israel Nigeria, as you know, we moved from Lagos and then we transited to Port Harcourt, where we believe Jehovah was speaking to us about setting up an international headquarters where we build a community center devoted to discipleship, training, equipping the saints, imparting the orphans, and empowering widows. And also, I've expressed several times how, as a ministry, we believe Jehovah has called us to undertake three core mandates. Our mandate is towards revival. We have a mandate for missions, and we have a mandate for training. And I'll be expatiating and shedding more light about this vision of House of Israel Nigeria and why you have been called in such a time as this to partake and to partner with us to finish our mission. The mission Jehovah has called House of Israel Nigeria to fulfill is not a one-man mission. It is a collective obligation. It is a collective duty. That is why I believe in this short time we have together, it will be a time for us to be illuminated and clarified and then strengthened on how we are going forward as a ministry. Before we go further, let us bow our heads and pray. Jehovah, we thank you for your love and for your mercy. We ask you to speak your word into our hearts. We ask that you will shed forth light. I pray you will release a mighty anointing of the Ruach HaKodesh to rest upon the heart of every partner, friends, and supporters of House of Israel, Nigeria. I pray that you will cause us to fulfill together the mandate to disciple the nations. Thank you, Elohim. In Yeshua's mighty name we pray. Amen. Before I go on, let's turn our Bibles quickly to Acts chapter 4. Acts chapter 4. Turn your Bibles with me to Acts chapter 4. I'm going to read from verse 32. Acts 4 from verse 32. Acts 4, I'll read from verse 32. So if you're with us in this broadcast, please share this broadcast. Invite your families and friends. Invite someone to be a part of the things we'll be discussing in today's Kingdom Legacy Project report. And if you've supported and given or prayed for us, I believe this brief meeting will be a blessing to you and to your family. Now, talk me to Acts chapter 4 from verse 32. Acts 4 from verse 32. Now, all the believers were one in heart and soul, and nobody called any of his possessions his own. Instead, they shared everything they owned. Verse 33. With great power, the apostles continued to testify of the resurrection of the Lord Yeshua, and abundant grace was on them all. 34. Since none of them needed anything, because everyone who had lands or houses
would sell them and bring the money received for the things sold. 35. And lay it at the apostles' feet. Then it was distributed to anyone who needed it. Verse 2. Verse 36. Acts 4:36. One man, Joseph, a descendant of Levi and a native of Cyprus, who was named Barnabas by the apostles, the name means a son of encouragement, sold a field that belonged to him, brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet. Praise Jehovah. And laid it at the apostles' feet. Now, Acts 4 from verse 33 reveals to us a kingdom community. A kingdom community. After Yeshua's ascension, the apostles were saddled with responsibility to lead a kingdom community, a community where everyone had all things in common, a community with a unified vision, the vision to disciple the nations. And in this community, everyone operated as a connected body, thereby functioning with one aim in mind, the aim to further the gospel of the kingdom. And the requirement to further the gospel of the kingdom was that finances were needed. In so doing, everyone who had lands, investment lands, real estate, they began to sell, and they brought the resources to the apostles' feet for the expansion, the support, the koinonia of this community. In so doing, no one in this community had needs. So it was a community where your needs was met, and you also met the needs of other people. It was a working network community. A community where the life of that community was from Yeshua through the Ruach HaKodesh. As I envisioned this kind of global community, it dawned on me that House of Israel Nigeria headquarters is to be a global community for discipleship and training. And this has become so strong in my heart that the mandate Jehovah has given to us is to establish a kingdom community with a life force from the Ruach, where people are discipled, equipped, impacted, transformed, and that transformation is reflected and revealed in community, regional, national, and global change through transformed people. A community where ambassadors are trained and released, who become catalysts of change and catalysts of transformation in various regions of the world where Jehovah will send them into. Don't forget, Yeshua tells us that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. The mission of this community is to call the few laborers, equip them to be an equipping network where these laborers are equipped. And when the laborers come, I believe they will come in various shapes and sizes. That is why one of our mandates as a ministry in this community is to be focused on two levels of missions: relief missions and gospel missions. And I'll be giving you step-by-step plan how we intend to undertake the assignment for global transformation within this community. Praise Jehovah. So quickly, let me give us this few information, very pertinent information. First, we give Jehovah all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise for the things he has done in House of Israel, Nigeria, in such a short space of time. In such a short space of time. In August the 2nd, 2021, we had a groundbreaking service of the House of Israel International Headquarters. That's August the 2nd. And August the 2nd, right to November the 19th, 2021, 3 months after, the Kingdom Legacy Project had experienced phenomenal speed, advancements, and we've experienced the mighty hands of Jehovah in this project, and this could not have been possible without the help of Jehovah and the help of our partners, friends, and supporters. Men and women who have believed in our vision and who believe they are called likewise to support the vision. So August the 2nd was a groundbreaking service of the Kingdom Legacy Project. And on that day, I poured oil, the oil of Jehovah, I anointed the ground, and I spoke words of blessings upon the land. And I said, that place where the Kingdom Legacy Project is will be a place where the sick will be healed, life transformed, life impacted. It would be not just an ordinary place to gather, a place where the life of Jehovah, the true gospel, the true light will shine to nations. And from that point henceforth, saints, the work have been so blessed. We've not recorded any casualty, terrible casualty. Jehovah has protected the workers. No death, no calamity. Everything the adversary planned to stop this project, Jehovah had helped us. We've seen him avert dangers. We've seen him supply. When it seems the project will be halted, Jehovah has stepped in to amaze us. This is in these signs and signals that Jehovah has called us to reach this community. So on August the 2nd was the groundbreaking service of the Kingdom Legacy Project. And also, before I go further, why is this project important? Why are we investing so much in this project? The goal is not just to build a building. The goal is not to build a building. The goal is not to glory in a building. I know Jehovah called me as an evangelist. My mission is to disciple the nations. I do not glory in buildings. I glory in the doings of Jehovah in the lives of men. You know, last year, November down to January, we had a prophetic word from Apostle Arthur Bailey. And the Lord was speaking to him. He said that we're entering a season of change and a time of transition. That prophetic word was so strong and ingrained deep in my heart. I began to pray. Oh, season of change, time of transition. What would that mean for us as a ministry, as individual? What was Jehovah speaking to us? Eventually, months came and months passed, and in March we had a 3-day prayer and fasting hosted by Pastor Marcus, the co-star of House of Israel UK. And during these times of fasting, we are persevering and praying, asking Jehovah for direction, for quickening, for what next for us as a ministry. During this time, Jehovah placed a faith in our hearts. It was time to own lands, to buy lands. It was time to buy lands. It was time to invest in agriculture. It was a time to be self-sustaining, a time to pull out from the noise of the mundane. It was a time to, he was speaking about a time of transition indeed. So we're going to transit from being a part of the noise to developing a new culture, a culture of self-sustenance, a culture of developing our own food, our own water, our own environment, our own building, our own lands. So we're envisioning this to happen. So we shared this with our partners. We wanted lands, and we got amazing reports and results. Our partners began to give and support, and we're able to purchase 3 plots of land. Hallelujah. We got 3 plots of land. So we told our partner we wanted 3 plots, and the finance came for the 3 plot of land. Amazing. I was so amazed. And then weeks after, I felt strong in my heart. Jehovah will move strongly in my heart. And I stood upon the pulpit right there in Lagos. I said, I feel Jehovah saying, it's time to build. And the project will be a 1-year project. I spoke it in faith. This is going to be a 1-year project. I was declaring this at a time when there was no money in our bank account to undertake such a project. Eventually, we got an engineer who designed for us of the building, the plan. So we had a building plan. So we had a building plan made for us by the engineer. And now this building plan was intended to be an international studio, a guest house, an orphanage, a worship center, a children developmental center. We had all of these things in mind because we were thinking about being a place where people would indeed experience transformation. So we got this engineer and we drew the plan for the project. Amazing. Amazing. So we got the plan going. So now, how were we to build? The plan came. And with the plan, Jehovah began to place in the heart of our partners the need to support this project. People like you, myself, ordinary people, special people began to give towards the Kingdom Legacy Project. At that time, the engineer who designed this project had estimated that this project would take at least $36,000 to complete. So we had in mind that this project was going to require $36,000 to complete. So that's what we're aiming towards. And for me, this was my first attempt to do such a gigantic project. So I didn't have any idea of building, what it takes to build, the things required, the underlying factors, the things, the unforeseen costs, and the things, the unplanned and the unbudgeted and the unknown expenses that will come up the way. So we had $36,000 to pursue to complete the project. So while the project was on, we faced a challenge with the engineer. We discovered the engineer was not faithful. He wasn't faithful. He wasn't faithful to the Sabbath. Number one, he was not faithful to the Sabbath. I will say one thing. I told the engineer, I said, we don't work on the Sabbath. He was about emphasizing why he needed to work on the Sabbath. And I said to him, we don't work on the Sabbath. And one certain evening, I heard Jehovah say to me, do you want my presence or do you want the building? And that became so strong in my heart so much. I said, no, every Sabbath we are not going to violate the Sabbath to build. And from the point we honored that word, the mighty presence of Jehovah has remained upon that project, and we have experienced the involvement of Jehovah. But with that still, the engineer was not faithful. He was not consistent. He was not truthful. And I observed certain behaviors, and I needed time to relieve him of the job. So we got him fired. So I sacked the engineer who drew the first building plan. So we had to send him off. And then it took us some time to seek Jehovah's face to send us another engineer who would take this project from where we are to where we felt Jehovah wanted this project to be. So we got a new engineer, and when the new engineer came, we saw areas and lapses where we needed to make correction. And with that, it meant we had to do some pillar reinforcements because the plans now changed. So we are changing, the center was now being transformed from just being a bungalow to being a story building. And then the international guest house, we had to change the guest house from being a bungalow into a duplex. So we changed the building plan for the international guest house, and we changed the building plan for the convocation center. And with this meant we had to apply some new reinforcements, some new additions. So the additions we now began to apply meant the plans, the budget changed. The budget changed, and then we began to require more sands, like so we had to get about 40 trips of sand to fill up the whole ground. So we had sand filling. And all of these things were things I was not aware of that we would be needing. Sand filling. Over 40 trips of sand of sands were required. Rods. We got more rods because we are now reinforcing new pillars. New pillars that will enable the work, the upstairs to be able to stand over the long haul. And these were all putting the best rods, the best quality hands, the best materials to make sure this will be an excellent work. So that meant we had to change the whole budget had to change. So we had $36,000 in mind, but now what we began to see began to tell us this project is indeed beyond what we have thought of. It was beyond $36,000. But we thank Jehovah that when we began to build, like I shared with our partners, we began to build during the rainy seasons. And one of the things we did was that we bought the materials down on site. We got the cement, the rods, and every item was gotten down on site. All we needed to do was to pay the laborers daily. Amazing. And then thanks to all our partners who supported and gave to us to enable us get these materials on site. And also, we also received a $15,000 matching gift challenge. $15,000 matching gift challenge. And that meant that for every dollar will be matched by $1. And these funds came from an anonymous donor who inspired us all to top up our generosity because he knew, or they knew, that this project was indeed the plan of Jehovah. And then with the $50,000, we were able to raise additional $10,000 to match the $15,000 we have received. So we matched the first $10,000 came. So we were able to match the first $10,000 with additional $10,000. So that was in itself $20,000. And then we got an extra $5,000 from the anonymous donor to raise the work. And then for that amount, $5,000, we've not been able to match the whole $5,000 yet for that project. And so to say, so with $15,000 we got plus the additional $10,000 got in to match the matching gift challenge, we began to buy rods. We bought extra rods, extra 16 mm, 10 mm, 12 mm, extra cement were purchased, extra sands, chipping stones. We bought around 60 tons of chipping stones. So, for example, the rods we bought cost us at least 1.7 million naira, over $2,000 just for the rods itself. So, and these are the kind of expenses we have come to face. So we've exceeded the budgeted $36,000 with the vision. And now, as I spoke with the engineer, I was asked, I said, now we have successfully roofed the studio and the office. We have purchased tiles, we have bought electrical wires and fittings, and the studio is about being completed. Work is ongoing. So we have successfully, so we can say the studio and the office is 95% completed. The studio and the office is 95% completed, and that is an amazing testimony. 95% completed. Praise Jehovah. Such a good news. And then so now for the convocation center, we have successfully done the decking. So we now have the staircase. We've done the staircase that will lead people upstairs. And then one of the things we're doing is that we now have massive space. We have about 4 office space at the ground floor of the center. 4 office space, and office space will be assigned to take in the space for the orphans and the mission project, a space for the revival center, a space for the training center. And one other thing Jehovah laid in my heart was our mission to educate. That meant Jehovah laid in my heart about our need to set up the Hebrew Roots Seminary, that we are called to train pastors and laymen and ministers in Nigeria, around the world, who will come from around the world to this place, this center, to be impacted. So the up level of the center, we are looking at partitioning it to be a school, a Hebrew seminary. And I've spoken with Apostle Arthur about this vision in my heart, and we are pursuing affiliation with the Hebrews University. So the Hebrews Seminary will be affiliated with the Hebrews Seminary in the Hebrews University in the US. And then we'll be transiting our discipleship training program into a degree and diploma awarding program. So moving it to be a degree and diploma awarding program. So pastors, laymen, those who have the call of Jehovah upon their life can find a Hebrew Roots Messianic Training Center, which is not in Nigeria. Nowhere would you find a Hebrew Roots seminary in Nigeria. This is the first of its kind. I wish I had this when I began my journey. So what we had was Protestant, Roman Catholic seminaries, denominational Bible schools and colleges and institutes. People did not have access to Hebrew Roots seminaries where they could be taught the Torah. So this is the issue. So we have to address the issue of discipleship at the grassroots level. If we can train more pastors, laymen, those who are called by Jehovah in the Hebrew roots of the Christian faith, then we have more hope. We have more hope that we can influence and re-influence and re-educate and send out leaders who will bring correction to the errors we have in the established denominations. And that is one of the call we have, the call to educate. So we are pursuing the Hebrew Seminary, and that will begin operation in June 2022. And also the pursuit of the international guest house. The international guest house will be a 7-bedroom, state-of-the-art, fully equipped guest house. And I believe we owe Jehovah the best as kingdom ambassadors. And we must think as ambassadors and do what we do with creativity, wisdom, and excellence. And one of the things I had in mind about the guest house was to be a place where people from around the world, nationally, locally, can come to House of Israel headquarters and be a part of the feast, the pilgrimage feast. And when they come for the feast, you have a place to stay. So we're making provision for those who travel down to Nigeria or travel from Nigeria or any state down to a center to be a part of the feast, the yearly feast. But as time progressed, I felt Jehovah saying the guest house will also be a place to house those who will come to the Hebrew Roots Seminary. So we're making a campus system available where pastors, laymen from around the world can come being trained, and if depending on where they are coming from, we have accommodation prepared for them, and it will be affordable, very affordable. We are making this very affordable, subsidized. Why? We already have the discipleship training manual given to us, so we are developing this manual in such a way that those who want a degree program, pursuing degree program of 4 years, we can use this manual to prepare for them so they can have the 4 years degree. And for those who are pursuing a diploma degree, we're using the same resources to equip them. And this is such an amazement. So right now we'll be needing about $30,000 US to complete the whole project. It includes completing the decking of the guest house, the roofing of it, because for a while we left the guest house untouched. We focused on the convocation center, and then we focused on the studio and office. one of the reasons why we had to focus on the studio was because in November 24th, we'll be going on a 3-month prayer and fasting. November 24th to February 23rd will be a 3-month prayer and fasting. And I'll be using the office and studio. I'll be there most of the time to pray. So I'll be praying on the site. I'll be praying in this facility. So that's why we had to pursue with speed to finish up the studio and office. So I'll be there for prayers during these 3 months of prayer and fasting. And also we had to pursue finishing the studio because we'll also be meeting there for the weekly Sabbath meetings. Because as you know, many of the people around the community are already asking, when is House of Israel headquarters Nigeria going to start worshiping at the facility? So we have people already waiting for us, so we don't want to waste time. So we'll be meeting there for the weekly Sabbath. And praise be to Jehovah. So there is no time to waste. So don't forget, we first envisioned $36,000 but now we need an extra $30,000. And what do we need this? What do we need this for? And don't forget, saints, the International Guest House is on hold while we focus on the studio, office, and the convocation center. But now that the studio is 95% completed, and then we have decked the convocation center, and we've prepared the staircase. What requires now for us is to complete the blocks for the decking, and then the roofing. So the roofing of the convocation center, and then the roofing will cost us about 3 million naira just for the roofing itself. And then we're dealing with the plastering, the cement plastering, extra cement plastering, then the interior of the furnishings, the tilings, and then the furnishings and the fittings, all of the fittings, and then some unbudgeted and unforeseen costs. And then along with that will be the International Guest House. So we're dealing with 7-bedroom guest house. So we are envisioning the completion of this project will at least we need $30,000 to complete this project. And so instead of our partners giving to us 150 as the will, we want you to have in mind the estimated amount we need to pursue now. Have in your mind what we need to pursue. Our goal now, the goal now is to raise $30,000 to complete the convocation center and the International Guest House and every other things it entails. So and please, there are ways Jehovah may lead you to go about this. There are ways Jehovah may lead you to go about this. I know one of our partners who helped us by selling some awesome product online and helping us with fundraising online. You can help us set up your own fundraising systems to tell people those within your sphere of influence about what House of Israel Nigeria is doing. And now in conclusion, so I want to end with the mission mandate. So House of Israel Nigeria have a mission mandate, and that mission mandate is in twofold. We have the gospel mission and the relief mission. The goal of the gospel mission is to advance our crusades, our outreaches. We travel around to nations, to regions, to preach the good news of the kingdom. That is a gospel mission, traveling around places to bring the gospel to them. Bring the gospel of the kingdom, the true gospel of the kingdom to places. So, because when we be traveling to places and regions, holding crusades, campaigns to enlighten people, churches, individuals about the true gospel of the kingdom, about the Torah, the laws of Jehovah and his commandments. And that is a gospel mission. Alongside our gospel mission is our relief mission. Relief mission focuses on human development. So we are pursuing educating educating children, educating the homeless, empowering the widows, and taking care of the orphans. That is an aspect of our relief mission. The relief mission focuses on human development, helping the downtrodden, the brokenhearted. Yeshua says in Luke 4, verse 18, the Spirit of Jehovah is upon me. He hath anointed me to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to heal the brokenhearted, to set at liberty those that are bound, to open prison doors, and to proclaim the acceptable year of Jehovah. And so this is indeed a mandate with which we pursue our relief mission. We are focusing on reaching the orphans, reaching the widows and the prisoners. And all of this is our response, our social response to good works within our community. And this is indeed a huge task, but we are undaunted because we believe this is a mandate we must fulfill. And so thank you, Saints, for all of your support. And I think if you have a question, there's a comment section here. If you have a question, please write in your question right now. So I'm going to make room for the next 2-5 minutes for questions. If you have questions, you want to just type in a questions and I'll respond accordingly to your questions on this platform. So the relief mission focuses on human development, helping those who are victims of tragedy. It could be natural disaster. It could be the tragedy that came as a result of losing a loved ones, like being a widow. No one plans to be a widow. Widows go through traumas in our settings. They go through stigma. The stigma of just being a widow is you can't imagine the stigma of being a widow. And then these are groups who are the forgotten groups. So it's not enough to just bring about a gospel mission. We have to also pursue the relief mission to reach those who have been affected by tragedy and who have been affected by inequality, marginalization, victimized by the systems. So these are those Jehovah has called us to reach within our gospel, our relief mission: the orphans, the widows, and the prisoners and the homeless. So we are not building a monument, we're building a place, a community of transformation, global transformation. So that should be the end of the message today, and the report I'm bringing to us, our partners. So now, Saint, I want to encourage us to take advantage of this moment to give. For those of us who have given, now we are giving towards the cause. We have 30,000 extra to raise. And with what we've given so far, you've seen the amazing speed of what your giving has done. So we make sure every day report is being posted on how work is going on. Right now, as I speak, work is going on. Work is going on. I think work should have ended now because it's sundown. So work would have ended now to us as we enter the Sabbath. So please, Saints, we need extra 30,000 US dollars. Would you support right now? If you feel moved by Jehovah right now, go on our website, hoinigeria.com and /donate. Click on that donation button and take that step of faith. Say, I'm going to give towards the gospel mission, the relief mission. I'm going to give towards the roofing, the tiling, the plastering, the plumbing, and every other thing required to finish the finishing, because now we are entering the last stage in the convocation center, which is the finishing stage. That is the stage we are in. In 3 months, Jehovah has helped us, and I believe in the few months from now, He won't fail us. I remind you of Paul's word in Philippians 1: He who has begun a good work in you will carry it on to completion. I believe He will carry it on to completion. Thank you so much for being a part of today's broadcast and report of the Kingdom Legacy Project. May Jehovah bless you and keep you, cause His face to shine upon you and be gracious to you and give you peace. And go on our website, we have Cash App, You can give through Cash App, give through PayPal, or go straight to our website, or give through World Remit. We also accept cryptocurrencies. You can give through cryptocurrencies. If you move right now, say, please, please, we need your help. I need your help. Jehovah needs you, saints. Help us complete what Jehovah started. So I'll be showing you some few videos, and with this video, we call it a day. Thank you, Saint Shalom. Now let's watch these videos. Here's a few videos we're looking at right now. So on your screen now is a call to donate. A call to donate. So go on our website, hoinigeria.com, and click on donate. So let's do it now. Let's share this broadcast, and then let's take the step of faith and begin to raise the $30,000 Now, also go straight on our Cash App. You can use the Cash App. It's a fast way to give to HOI Nigeria. cashapp.com/N. There should be a $sign NEGS8303, or use the PayPal, paypal.com/HOI Nigeria. So we have our partners. Most of you are used already to World Remit. So use the World Remit system to send your donation, and we also accept cryptocurrency. So if you want to give to cryptocurrency, inbox me for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, USDT address, and then I will send it to you. Praise Jehovah. So thank you so much. I deeply appreciate you. I deeply appreciate you, Saint. Let's begin to give right now. Let's give. Shalom Saints, I'm full of joy to show you progress so far at the Kingdom Legacy Project. We have completed the decking of the Convocation Center, and also the staircase to the up floor of the Convocation Center has been completed. We have also completed the roofing of the International Office and Studio, including the windows, the electrical work, and the tiling, the flooring, and we are moving to the next stage, which is the stage of painting and installations of the doors. Thank you so much. We could not have come this far without your generosity and the help of Jehovah. Jehovah has indeed been so kind to us. And I want to appreciate you, Saint, and I also want to encourage you to support us, to complete the work Jehovah has completed. Please go on our website, hoinigeria.com, and click on the donation button to send that generous donation to help us complete the project so far. So far, we'll be needing approximately $30,000 to complete the roofing, the fittings, to complete the international guest house. Please, saints, this is when we need you the most. Please help us accomplish this grand dream in the heart of Jehovah. The Kingdom Legacy Project is indeed a global community for discipleship, for training, and for the blessing of the Kingdom of Jehovah and for humanity. This is a moment we have to shine the light of Jehovah in a dark world.
So, Saint, thank you so much for being a part of this Kingdom Legacy Project report today. And I decree your vast blessing upon every hand stretched for to give. I pray as Elijah decreed upon the widow who had just a handful of flour to eat with herself and the son and to die during the famine. You sent Elijah the prophet to the widow, and the famine lasted, but she had enough, she and the family, during the famine. I pray for our givers, our friends, partners, and supporters of the Kingdom Legacy Project. They will be unaffected by the famine, by the virus, by recession, by inflation, by economic instability, currency devaluation, and whatever situation ordinary men face. I pray you will release upon them a blessing. Multiply every seed sown. For everyone who gives in faith today, grant to them 100-fold supernatural harvest. Bless them beyond their widest imagination. There are those who are giving right now because they care for the orphans, they care for the widow, they care for the prisoner. And they are saying, Father, I can't reach these people, but I can give to House of Israel. And I believe House of Israel Nigeria will stretch forth my hands to these people. And there are those who be giving because they want to see pastors educated and trained to the Hebrew seminary. And there are those who are giving to build the convocation center, because there are those who will come from far and wide to be a part of the feast of Jehovah and to honor Jehovah through remembering the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. And there are those who will be given to support our campaign and crusades, our TV missions, our studio mission, everything, every call, every mission mandate, a mission to revival, training, and education, and all of this mission that encompasses what we are called to do. I pray for those who are supporting this today. Father, I pray you will multiply them and bless them. May not lack as a result of their giving. May every step of faith today be honored. And those who take the step to give, may you, Father, multiply them today. And decrease this soul in Yeshua's name. Thank you, Saint. Shalom.